have had the week. I will tell you, I have had it has. It's really funny, when things like pour on. Have you guys ever had, things happen where it's just like one thing after another goes wrong, and it's like, wow, this was the perfect time for this topic. But I'm still smiling because it's nothing that I can't recover from, right? And it's nothing that is like world ending, right? But the thing is that it's like when those moments happen, it is like it's tough, right? You get overwhelmed, and that's actually why, I love journaling so much. Journaling is really effective because you get all your thoughts out, you get the problems out, you get the solutions going. And listen, we're all human, it happens to us. So I have had a week, and I know this week is gonna get better, but I know that because I have all the tools I need. I have, all the support systems I need, and things are going to go really well. So beyond that, it's actually a perfect timing for this topic, right? Which is productivity. Right? Productivity is a lie, right? Mostly. What do I mean by that? Well, so as you can see from some of my recent video, my most recent video actually, and I might actually do an entire video on the on how to be productive in a really true, meaningful sense. What do I mean by that? A lot of people out there talk about productivity, right? And we have a lot of productivity gurus and all of that on online, right? On YouTube, on Instagram, whatever. The problem that I see is a lot of assumptions being made, right? So when people tell us, right, when people tell us, so for instance, okay, I had I was on a forum, and I use this example in the video, but I'll flesh this out a little bit more. I was on a forum, and somebody's like trying to use their credibility, their background, right? I kind of hate when people do this in a bad way. You can use your background as a little bit of credibility, you know, to show you're actually not, you're for real or whatever. But I hate when people use their credibility to like tell people, oh, how wrong they are or whatever. Now this guy on this forum, he was saying, hey, I'm an analyst. I'm an economic analyst, or I'm a analyst with 10 years of experience, 20 years of experience or whatever. And I could tell you, you're not budgeting efficiently. Your budget, how you're organizing things is not efficient. And essential to the concept of productivity is efficiency. Prove me wrong. Because productivity, what is productivity? It's getting things done in with the fewest inputs with the greatest output. And that's basically what efficiency is. It's almost a synonym for efficiency. But what's efficiency? And this happens all the time, right? That we assume that something's efficient. But what's the definition? What's efficient? What? For something. So efficiency is always efficiency for something. And that hidden part, that's the hidden part. Productivity is always productivity for something. It's always the hidden part. There's always, if you listen to what I've said about, I think it was 2 weeks ago, the video 2 weeks ago, I talked about normative statements versus descriptive ones, normative intelligence versus descriptive intelligence. And what do I mean? Normative statements, you're making a value claim. You're making a value claim. And if you're going to say something is productive and you're making a value claim, you're implying a value claim. You're saying productive for what? X. Well, what? What's X? X what? What is that? Productive for what? So every time, just understand, anytime somebody makes a claim to you about, oh, this thing is more productive, or this or that is more productive, you should do it this way because it's more productive, this is more efficient. They're making a value claim. Hold those people accountable. That's what I would say. Hold those people accountable to reveal for what? For what? Right? What's the value system that they're promoting? Because they're promoting a value system, and I see this a lot in, especially in economics. And there are a lot more. Thankfully, there are a lot more critiques nowadays of economists. Nothing against economists, but in economics, there are a lot of value assumptions that are made. It's not a neutral thing. when you teach economics, for instance, let me just give an example. In economics, because my background's in value theory, for anybody tuning in, uh, for the first time. So I mean, I know a thing or two about utility theory, expected utility, and all that stuff. So in economics, there's something called expected value. What is expected value? Let's just really break it down. So first, you have the probability of an outcome, right? So probability is fairly objective, right? I mean, I can measure probability in many, many ways. I can measure it, well, not many, many ways. I can measure probability a few ways, right? There's classical probability, and then there's, frequentist probability and all that stuff. So it's fairly objective, although there are some debates in probability theory about what is probability. It's fine. Let's just accept that that's objective. So what goes into an expected value equation in economics? And this relates to productivity, because this is directly related to productivity, right? Directly related to the definition of productivity. What goes into the value equation? Well, we have basically the probability, and then you multiply that times utility, right? So the utility of the outcome. You might be asking, well, what's utility? What's the utility of the outcome? Good question. I'm not sure economists even know that either. It's a way. Now, utility was something that was invented, not invented. Well, yeah, it was kind of invented. Utility is a concept that was kind of constructed, a model that was constructed back in the 1800s. First with a philosopher named Jeremy Bentham, and then later with his protege who further developed it, John Stuart Mill. And they talked about utility. Well, utility is what? Basically a unit, one util, right? Utility is basically a unit of happiness, so to speak. Well, how do you measure a unit of happiness? And better question is, should we be pursuing happiness in the first place? Is that the thing to pursue? So all these questions are actually still unresolved in economics. And so the same thing happens when we talk about productivity as what happens in economics. I'm doing great. Christ Walker 1, welcome. I'm doing great. How are you doing? I'd love to know how your day is going, how your morning is going, or if I don't know where you are in the world, but how your day is going so far. So, welcome. But yeah, the same assumptions apply to economics as apply to productivity, right? So let's uncover the assumptions here. What are the assumptions in economics? Well, that a certain outcome is valuable if we multiply, right, the probability times the utility. How do you measure that? Still nobody knows how to measure utility. Really, it's seen as a subjective thing, but people apply different utilities to different things based on your preferences, right, in rational choice theory. But a lot of research now in the past decade, especially in the past decade, has really shown this model of behavior to be really inaccurate in most cases. In most cases, something called installation theory even shows that we don't primarily react or respond to economic costs. We respond to other types of prohibitions or environmental stimuli, cognitive effects. Right? We don't respond to economic cost primarily, although we do, but not primarily. Yeah, finding yourself doom scrolling. Well, hopefully you have come to a positive place. Hopefully you have come to a positive place where you can learn something to help yourself grow today, and we'll both grow together. We'll all grow together. So yeah, I mean, so productivity. Let's apply the same thing to productivity, right? Economics makes a lot of assumptions about what's valuable, what we should value, right? The same thing happens in productivity, right? I will tell you, have the person who is giving you this definition of what productivity is, or what, what is most efficient. Tell them, reveal the for what, the for what. So going back to that analyst example, if he answered, let's think about how he might answer the question, for what. Well, that analyst that I was talking about who said, "Oh, your budget is not efficient. You should budget more efficiently." What would he say? Well, he might say, if we asked him, well, efficient for what, or productive for what? Well, oh, of course, your future financial stability, right? Your sense of stability, your happiness, right? Your well-being. Okay, okay. Go on, define those things. Oh, and he'd respond, maybe, oh, that's the, like, duh, you know what they mean. You know what they mean. Define those things, right? It's nonsense. Let's stop, going down a needless rabbit hole. But it's not. It's not. It speaks to the decisions that you make in your everyday life. Case in point. Case in point. Let me ask you something. Is working at a job that, you know, like, I'll give you an example. And I've worked at, good morning, QUCB. Welcome back. Welcome back, guys. Let me ask you, is it productive to work at a toxic job that you hate, yet yet you're very good at it? No, I've actually had examples. I've had experiences. Let me kind of go. Yeah, it's not, right? But from a objective standpoint, if we listen to a lot of the people who talk about productivity, well, yeah, I mean, look, you're getting a lot of the work done. You're really good at the job. You're getting it done before you might be even competitive with a lot of your coworkers. You're getting all the work done before even the coworkers do. Yet you go home and you feel unsatisfied. Maybe you even make a lot of money, right? That's the thing too. And I've been in this situation too especially when I ran an SAT test prep agency. Listen, I'm not gonna. I won't, like, there are places where I'll be humble, right? Where I don't know things, I won't be. I'll be a little less humble here. I'm really really good at teaching, coaching, academic coaching, and things like that, and other sorts of coaching. I've done it. I've proven it. I ran a test prep agency. It was really successful. We had high ticket clients paying us lots of money. Was it really efficient? Well, we got the job done in a short, in a, efficiently. We got the results for the students. A lot of the students, most of them went on to go to top universities. Um, you know, a lot of them were happy, or sorry, most of them were happy with the service, right? And the outcome was good. The outcome, by all appearances on the outside, was good, but I was unhappy. It was not just unhappy. I was really unfulfilled. Like, I couldn't wake up in the morning and say, "Yeah, I'm excited to do what I do today. I'm excited about today." Um, so Christ Walker, yes, actually. So here's what I do. I am two things. Primarily, my primary focus is on YouTube right now, and serving you guys, and loving to work with you guys. So primarily, my primary focus is YouTube. How I make money is mostly not through YouTube for now, right? But how I make money is I still have lots of, like, private clients that I work with for academic coaching, right? So I do that. However, I'm in the process of actually building out something that I think you all will really enjoy. I actually want to work with people to help them with decision making, and getting out of that analysis paralysis. Let me know if you think that's a good idea, because I want to hear from other people to see if, like, that's something that they would love, right? So anyway, feel free to give me feedback, but to get out of analysis paralysis, to be able to make better decisions, to be able to make decisions better than other people, to be a better critical thinker, right? These are things that there's a project that I'm working on to potentially work with people on that. So if that's interesting to you, let me know, because I need feedback. Not even if you wouldn't, like, purchase it yourself, right? That's not what I'm saying. But, like, does that sound like something that um, you know, you would be interested in some way. Like sounds like a good idea, right? And that's also a point. How do we determine what's productive or efficient? Ask. Like we're really afraid, and that's something that I will say too. I will admit I'm often afraid to ask other people for feedback, although I push myself to do it. It doesn't actually prevent me from doing it, but there sometimes we are afraid of, you know, looking like we need help or asking for help, right? To determine what we should do, what's our next step, right? How we can get things done more efficiently or better. We're afraid of looking incompetent, but that's not incompetence. That's not incompetence. It's totally a fixed mindset. Incompetence is like staying in the same place and not thinking, um, and not thinking. You're making me laugh here. So some dummies who need that. Actually, I would love to work with people who are already pretty smart. Can I send my ex to the course? I would actually love to work with people who are already very intelligent and they're just looking to get better at decision making. Because guess what? Here's what we actually all struggle with. A lot of us struggle with is, um, especially, and I know if you're watching, you're most likely because the algorithm's really good at doing what it does. You're most likely kind of like me if you're watching this, like analytical, very analytical, theoretical minded, love to grow, love to become more intelligent, right? Love to become more thoughtful, are a thoughtful person in general. Probably if you're watching this, that's the kind of person you are. And we tend to, and I have experienced in my life, we tend to overthink. We tend to overanalyze. We tend to get stuck in analysis paralysis to the point that it prevents us from making decisions or catching opportunities that we could catch or, you know, making our lives better in some way. We overthink. And is there a way that we can actually figure out how to make better decisions? Yeah, there actually is. There actually is. And it's funny. I kind of want to put this all together into a course just because I feel like I have had so much experience with this. I mean, my background is actually in value theory. It's the theory of how people make decisions with values, right? Like, duh. Like, I know it from a theoretical standpoint, but I've also lived it. I've lived it because I transitioned to become an entrepreneur back in 2013, right? After having published academically, and it was a whole new world for me. But I actually started to experience, oh, this is how people actually make decisions. Oh, interesting. If I just give people facts and figures, they're not gonna like buy when I'm selling, right? Oh, like I need to do more than that. Right? Oh, this isn't really how people make decisions, right? So I actually discovered along the way in actually a sales career how people make decisions, and then I transitioned later into running the agency, and I learned a lot about how people make decisions, what I should be doing, what we should be doing. Sometimes we think we're making a good decision, and going back to productivity here, sometimes we think we're being productive, but we have to go back to our decision making process and understand, okay, is it really productive? Like if I'm not liking what I'm doing and I'm really good at it, I think that's actually the biggest dilemma, quite honestly. I don't know if you guys have ever run into this problem, but like okay, here's the dilemma. One, you are doing something you're really good at. You have a skill at. And it's like your career or your some sort of your source of income, right? So you're really good at it and it's your source of income. But number 2 is you don't really like it. So have you ever been in that situation? So I'll repeat it for the people who just came on. One, you are in a career or you have a source of income that uh, where it's dependent on a skill that you're really good at. So it might be teaching, it might be doing, whatever the skill is. You make money from that skill, and you're really good at it. Number two is you just don't like it. You just don't like it. So that's the real dilemma. That's actually the real problem, because so that is the real problem. And Christ Walker, I'll answer your question in a moment. It's a great question. But that's the real dilemma, because how do you actually get out of a situation where like that? Because that's actually a miserable situation. Like you're really good, you're really efficient, you're really productive, right? With what you do, but you don't like it, right? You wake up every day and you're like, oh, I have to get this over with. I hate it, right? But you're really good at it. There's a lie out there. There's actually kind of a lie out there that is like, oh, if you're good at something, you'll like it, or if you like something, you'll be good at it. I really don't see that. But like, yes, you can like something a lot, and then it'll help you eventually. It'll give you the motivation to pick up the skills to be good at it. There is some truth to that. But just because you're good at something does not mean you like it, right? I will tell you from personal experience. So that's something where people don't talk about, right, in terms of productivity. It's something people don't talk about. Now, Christ Walker, how do you break free from overthinking at night? I do sometimes. So, yeah, actually, that's a good question. Overthinking, it might be overthinking our decisions. Um, well, that's kind of, it just kind of sounds like anxiety. I think we all have that sometimes. It's like where we're up late thinking about a million things. I mean, recently, because I'm just like I'm rehashing and rethinking a lot of things myself. So recently, I've been like I was just at the gym and my mind was racing like a million miles a minute. My mind was racing. I was trying to figure out, okay, like what do I do about this? What do I do about that? And all of these thoughts were coming at once. So what I actually find very effective, especially because I was at the gym, I in between reps or where whatever I am doing, I will actually write down all the thoughts and try to organize them. Try to organize them into something before I lose the thought. And then I'll make a point of either journaling that or actually talking to somebody who that I can share the thoughts with, and either a friend or whatever, or in my case, I'm working with a consultant, and he's helping me kind of figure out these things. But send your thoughts to the person, organize the thoughts, and it's actually going to start to relieve, in my experience, relieve some of that anxiety. Um, because you'll be able to process those thoughts, organize those thoughts, and most importantly, turn it into a kind of plan of action. I think that's the one of the best ways to be productive. Speaking of productivity, right? How do you take, right? Because again, it's an assumed value, right? Productivity for, remember that. There's no such thing as productivity. There's only productivity for something. There's only productivity for something. There's no such thing as just productivity itself. It's a lie, right, by itself. Productivity for. So you always have to define the for. What's the for? What's the goal? What's the outcome? What's the value system, right? That is assumed, that we're assuming. Make it clear, make it clear, make it clear. Otherwise, you're going to have that anxiety all the time. You're going to have that misalignment. You're going to wake up like I was waking up, miserable every day, like, oh, I have to do this or that. I don't like it. I hate it. I have to wake up and do this or that. My life is a lot better now in terms of that, but um, yeah, I mean, we're always thinking about the past, right? We're always thinking about the past. A lot of us. I mean, I don't think you're alone in that, right? A lot of us are doing that, and yeah, actually, in case you guys wanna meet my dog. She just rested her face on my on my knee, right? You could say hello to Athena, but yeah, here she is. She has a good life, but yeah, now she wants more attention. But basically, yeah, that's a one way to get rid of that anxiety. Higgs, what do I do for fun? Welcome to the live stream, by the way. And engage yourself in something. That is a way. QUCB, right? That is a way. So Hicksta, what do I do for fun? I actually love to travel. I love to travel. I'm gonna go. I was just in Europe, a month ago. Next month I'm gonna be going. Where am I going? I'm gonna go to Puerto Rico, and then I'm gonna go. I might go to Costa Rica. Um, that is actually the benefit um, of where I've been and where I've got to. I actually do have a lot of flexibility. I never dreamed that, um, maybe 10 years ago, I never dreamed that I'd actually have the level of flexibility that um, I will. I will. I actually will live stream from Puerto Rico. I will. I will be sure to do that. I will show you guys if I'm ever traveling. And yes, I am working from home. I work from wherever, and that's why I'm able to do that. Um, but I'm very thankful for the ability to do that. But again, it's been a process. It's been a process of figuring out that. Remember, what is productivity? Is productivity for? There's no such thing as just productivity. It has taken me a while to understand what the for part is. Right? It has really taken me a while to figure that out. Um, I will just be straight up. You know, people idolize working from home, working from home. It's is working from home what you want to do? It's what I want to do. I want to work remotely, but not everybody like you have to ask yourself, just because I want it, just because somebody else wants it, doesn't mean that like that's something you should want, right? Um, that's actually called mimetic desire, right? When you just mimic other people's goals and dreams and desires, right? No, I am married, Hicksta, so I do not live alone. I live with my dog, so but yeah, we're for now we're well, I do live with my dog, but not just my dog. So, but yeah, like, but I'm here by myself at home for right now. Uh, so anyway, guys, thanks for joining me on this live stream. Really appreciate having you guys here. I love being with you guys every Wednesday. Feel free to always reach out to me. Reach out to me by email. I'd love to hear from you. I love to hear from people in the community. It's so rewarding to hear what you guys are up to, what you're struggling with, what you need help with. I'm happy to correspond with you guys. So thanks guys for connecting. I will see you next time and have a great rest of your day.